If you love a gripping mystery that keeps you on the edge of your seat, packed with suspense and dangerously heartfelt romance told in a cinematic way, you better hear me out because this game might just be for you. But I'm gonna be honest, I didn't plan to play this game at all. Even though I love the mystery genre so much, this is an otome game. And for me, romance is just as important. It needs to be balanced, especially after hearing people say the romance is barely there. Like someone literally said it's 98% of story and only 2% of romance. Are you kidding me? How could I play something like that? But then I saw the sale and the sale was too good to be true. It was 95% off. How could I resist it? And even though it wasn't on my wish list, I bought it immediately. I didn't have high expectations at first, but wow guys, it turns out I love this game so much. It's now one of my top otome games of 2025. And if you're also unsure whether this otome game is for you or not, don't worry, I'll break everything down from every perspective because if this is your vibe, trust me, you don't want to miss this gem. And stay till the end for my general thoughts. Heartfelt XO, romance meets Nihongo. Before that, if you love visual novel, story-rich or otome games, or if you want to learn Japanese with otome games and experience some heart-fluffy romance, I suggest you to subscribe to this channel because you are in the right place. Let's start with the story. Welcome to Music, a beautiful fictional town. You play as a strong, smart, and gifted journalist in this romantic adventure. And yes, it is truly an adventure. You are Teuta, a young woman with the mysterious ability to leap into the past, but only for a short moment and in the body of someone else. You use this power to gather data and help people. And one day, you witness the murder of a crook lawyer and you go back in time in an attempt to save him. And that's when the real journey begins. Teuta leaps back into the past, inhabiting another person's body to try and warn Limbo. It's up to you to figure out how to save him. After that, you find yourself getting involved with Limbo and the rest of the gang. You'll get to know all of the guys, and from there, it's a whirlwind of dangerous romance and murder mystery. Bustafellows is a steamy noir mystery that will leave you shivering and still wanting more. And yes, that is so true. Every single route is so good. It gives you chills and leaves you craving more. Alright, without further ado, let me just introduce you to all of the guys. First up is Shu. Shu is a heavy smoker who makes a living as a bounty killer, taking down other hitmen. He's a top-class martial artist and specializes in long-range sniping. The best sniper in town. He has no other goals in life apart from executing the names left behind by his foster parents and mentor. Yes, that is the core of his background story. And I gotta say, out all of them, I think Shu has the best story pacing. I love it so much. The way they slowly reveal his personality, he may look cold on the outside, but deep down, he's incredibly kind and gentle. And OMG, I don't want to spoil too much, but he's a total boyfriend material. He is such a green flag, and honestly, out of everyone, he is the coolest to me. The romance? So satisfying. It's exactly what I look for in an otome game. If your idea of romance includes deep talks and quality time, this route, or rather this whole game, won't disappoint. I even noticed in my notes when I write my impression of his route, I use caps lock a lot because I was just that excited. The story was crazy good and had me completely hooked. So overall, Shu and his route got a solid triple S from me, no question. Next is Limbo, the lawyer. Limbo is famous for bringing justice even to the toughest criminals in court. Though nicknamed the crook lawyer, he's incredibly skilled, beloved by the people, and seen as a hero in the city. He plays by his own rules, dishing out justice in his own way. Born into an extremely wealthy family, Limbo has a kind heart, and I would say he's the smartest of all the guys. To be honest, I didn't have high hopes for Limbo at first, but wow, his background story completely took me by surprise. Even with all his skills and popularity, he has a very vulnerable side, and his bad ending shattered me. Out all of the allies, I think his bad ending was the most tragic, and I love it. It felt like exactly what I imagined from a dangerous romance game, and it definitely raised the bar for me. And okay, I know I said Shu is boyfriend material, but Limbo, he is on a different level. I honestly can't choose between them. They both have their own charm and their own way of showing love. Limbo is also boyfriend material, just in a very different way. I hope that makes sense. Also, I love Limbo's side B. The romance there gave me butterflies. It was so cute and sweet. Limbo is surprisingly romantic. At first, I was going to rank him an A after side A, but nope. After experiencing side B and that unforgettable bad ending, his overall route easily gets an S for me. Actually, for Limbo personally, it's a triple S. He's too good. Mwah, chef's kiss. Okay, up next is Helvetica the Plastic Surgeon. Helvetica is well known in music. He appreciates beauty in everything and constantly rates women based on their looks as they pass by. Super confident in his abilities, he truly believes people can be reborn by altering their natural features. Even though Helvetica isn't really my type, even after finishing his route, he's still okay. But there were parts of his personality that felt a bit too much for me. He is charming, in his own way. His background story was surprisingly gripping. I was on the edge of my seat learning about it, and I honestly didn't expect such depth from him in particular. So overall, while I enjoyed the story and the surprises were definitely there, Helvetica's just didn't hit me as hard as the others, so I'm going to rate his route a B. Next is Mozu, our handsome guy. Mozu is the chief of the autopsy department and works with the police force. Often misunderstood as apathetic and indifferent, his way of thinking usually comes from a purely medical perspective, which leads to some unexpectedly funny situations. Oh, and Mozu talks to corpses, and it's rumored that he dissects animals as a hobby. Yeah, but he also likes riding bicycles. If you just heard that description, you'd probably think, what's wrong with this guy? Is he insane? But trust me, everything has a reason, and you'll find that out in his story. I gotta say, even though his story starts off strong like the others, it somehow feels so short. There's a problem with the pacing of his route. They really rush it toward the end. It just kind of ends, especially with the sudden CG bomb and that random ending on side A. It felt like they just dumped everything in to wrap it up as quickly as possible. I like Mozu. No, I love Mozu. Especially when he's mad, he's so hot. But this route didn't do him justice. Like, what the heck? How could you do this to Mozu? In the other routes, there's a great balance between story and romance, but with Mozu's route, I need more of the romantic scenes. I'm begging you. Even in Side B, it's just too short, and that is such a shame because Mozu in love mode is so good. I'm seriously just going to wait and hope that Bustafellows Season 2 give us a proper redemption for Mozu's route. For the overall route, I'd give it a B, mostly carried by Mozu himself. For Mozu alone, oh my, I love him. If they had given us more content, he would have easily been an S. But I'm just gonna give him an S, just because I know he will be my favorite if they just let him shine more. Please show us more of your romantic side, Mozu. And last is Scarecrow, the cyber geek and infamous hacker. He's known across the internet for hacking, money laundering, and stealing. Thanks to his insane skills and shady connections, he's a self-proclaimed underground boss. Funny thing, his was the first route I got. I played blind and boom, ended up with him. Sadly. Yeah, because I actually wanted to get Shu first. Okay, here's why I was a bit sad. In terms of appearance, Scarecrow is my least favorite. He's cute though, just not exactly my type. But yo, his first preview scene when you enter his route surprised me so much. I was shocked. I won't spoil it, but I really didn't expect them to go that way, but because they did go that way, it ended up feeling rushed again. It just didn't make any sense. Like you reach this emotional or plot peak and then suddenly it just dropped down the hill and ends. Yeah. And I don't know if it's just me, but I didn't really get why Teruta suddenly fell in love with him. It felt so rushed, the pacing was off, and they wrap up the whole thing way too easily. It started off great, but it was way too short, so I couldn't really enjoy their lovey-dovey side B moments because I didn't feel it. The emotional connection just didn't land for me. So overall, I would rate his route a C. Also, a personal tip, play Scarecrow's route last if you want to experience the game's overarching plot in a more cohesive way. I was super confused at first, wondering why certain things weren't being addressed in his route, so personally, I would recommend this play order. Start with Shu or Limbo, then go through Helvetica, Mozu, and save Scarecrow for the end. The story will flow much better that way. Okay, now for my general thoughts. Overall, Bustafellows is a very interactive otome game. It almost feels like watching a high-quality anime. It's packed with details, even the background CG are stunning, they're animated, vibrant, and give off the feeling of watching a full movie. Seriously, this game is such a high-quality otome experience. There are so many CGs. Every single moment is captured, and they have tons of variations. There are even animated CGs, which makes everything feel incredibly immersive. They even show the characters from behind sometimes, which really makes it feel like a cinematic experience. Plus a voice MC. I know we don't usually get voice-acted MC, it's pretty rare, and some of you might find it unusual or even be tempted to turn it off, but if you really want to experience the full emotional impact of the scenes, I strongly suggest keeping it on. Of course, it's up to you, but personally, I'm so thankful they added voice acting for the MC. It makes every scene hit harder, chef's kiss. Bustafellows gives me everything I've ever wanted in a mix of gripping mystery and dangerous romance. Every love interest has a backstory that's equally compelling. They all made me so curious, gave me goosebumps, and kept me completely hooked. Even with the pacing issues in Mozu and Scarecrow's routes, which felt rushed near the end, I still have to say every route story is so freaking good. I can count how many times I widen my eyes while playing this game. This is the kind of mystery that never lets you get bored. It keeps you on the edge of your seat because you have to know what happens next. The bad endings? Exactly what I wanted from a dangerous mystery otome game. As someone who easily gets bored or burnt out playing otome games, well, honestly, I got a bit bored in chapter 1 or 2 of the common route because there was so much going on. But I can confidently say this game is an exception. Because when chapter 3 of the common route begins, things start getting really good. Like, really good. I couldn't wait to play every single route because the story was just that interesting. And yes, I have said it countless times, but I will say it again. It is. As someone who really loves mystery and suspense, I didn't find the game heavy or draining at all. Maybe it's because each route is so varied and enjoyable. It honestly feels like watching a crime mystery series where you just keep clicking next episode because you're so curious to see what happens. They also occasionally show the allies buff and it's pretty well done. If anything, I wish they would show more of Toyota's inner thoughts too, so we could understand her feelings more deeply. Though to be fair, her emotions are portrayed clearly in some roots. And thank goodness, we get an archive, and it's all based on Toyota's perspective, so we can still follow along with how she's processing everything. That said, in most roots, I really get why she falls in love with the allies, except Scarecrow. If you guys know why, please tell me in the comments. Just remember to say spoiler alert so others who haven't played can skip it, okay? Oh, and one last thing, I love how they show Toyota's sprite sometimes. It's always a treat to actually see our MC on screen. As for the love interest, I'm pretty satisfied overall. Scarecrow is cute, but I honestly just don't get why Toyota falls in love with him. I couldn't really feel the connection, so when they were being all lovey-dovey, it just felt a bit awkward and weird for me. Helvetica is charming in his own way, but he's not really my type of boy. My top 3 will definitely be Shu, Limbo, and Musu, and honestly, I can rank them. I love them all equally. But in terms of best route execution, I would say Shu takes the crown. It was so perfect. For best side B, I would go with Limbo, though it could have been Musu too, but Musu was just too short to feel fair. For me, the decision to add side B content is such a wholesome move. Plus, we get extra scenes with the allies that help build up the romance matter. If they had only done side A, it would have left an uneasy craving for more kind of feeling. But thanks to side B, I felt pretty satisfied with the balance between romance and story. In my opinion, it's very well balanced. If your idea of romance involves deep conversations, quality time, or acts of service, then you'll definitely feel the romance is more than enough. There are plenty of scenes like that. Personally, I'm super satisfied because I'm a sucker for that kind of love language. That said, I would also recommend going into Bustafellows with the mindset that it's a visual novel first, not an otome game, especially because the common route is quite long. In my case, when I approach it like a typical otome, I kept thinking things like, when is this gonna end? I just want to jump into the route already. Why is it taking so long? Yeah, that. So to avoid that impatience, I strongly suggest perceiving it as a story-driven visual novel, and you'll enjoy it much more. Also, just a heads up, the story is pretty dark. The characters' backgrounds and especially the true route contains themes that might be sensitive for some players, so it's better to check the content warnings beforehand. But even with those dark elements, this game has a great balance of comedy and character dynamics. It's genuinely fun to listen to the cast interact. There are so many important side characters who play crucial roles in each ally's backstory, which makes the narrative feel even more engaging. It gives you the sense that the world is really full and alive. Now, I have to say, this is probably the second time I've been so hooked by a side character. I'm talking about Ehem. Even before entering any allies route during the common route, I found myself thinking, why am I falling in love with a side character? Don't make me fall deeper, please! And why can I romance him? You'll understand when you play the game. The downside is that there are a few parts of the game that weren't translated. I'm not sure why. It wasn't a big deal for me personally since I learned Japanese, but I can see how that might put some players off. It's not that bad though, so still playable. But the end credits, they weren't translated either. I don't know why they skipped that part because for me it's actually pretty crucial. I wouldn't say the game left me with an unsatisfied feeling, maybe because I already knew there will be a season 2, and honestly, I think I was pretty satisfied with how it ended. It's definitely subjective. Some people will love it, some might not, but for me, it made me cry my eyes out. It's rare for me to do that. It left such an impactful impression on me. That said, there are still a few unanswered questions and I'm ready for Season 2 to clear them up. I seriously can't wait. So, conclusion, this game is for you if you enjoy noir crime mystery stories with a touch of dangerous romance packed with plot twists and suspense. Your idea of romance involves deep conversations, lots of meaningful quality time, and act of service. You love character-driven narratives that explore personal growth and emotional bonds. You're a sucker for the found family trope. You're into morally gray love interests with complex, layered backstories. And last, you enjoy stories that blend suspense, introspection, and occasional fluff without making romance the only focus. This game might not be for you if you're mainly looking for romance-heavy, lovey-dovey moments and don't care much about the plot. If your idea of romance is physical touch or steamy scenes, you might find romance here lacking. You prefer light-hearted or fluffy otome games because this game can get pretty dark. It touches on themes like suicide, mental health issues, gun violence, and drug references. So if you're sensitive to those, I recommend skipping it. And you're uncomfortable with emotionally intense or heavy content. And last, you dislike bittersweet or open endings that don't tie everything up with a neat little bow. I would also add, this game is perfect if you're someone who already loves visual novels or story-rich games and want to dip your toes into the world of otome. I think it's a great introduction to the genre. Please, I want more people to know how amazing otome games can be. Okay, I hope this review helps and gives you some clarity on whether this otome game is right for you or not, because like I said, I almost skipped a gem again. So glad I picked it up. And again, I cannot wait for season 2. Tell me in the comments who's your favorite ally in this game if you have played it, and if you haven't yet, what's holding you back? Plus, if you're still unsure how to find the right otome game for you, I've already made a video about that. Feel free to check it out here. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!